While the impeachment debate plays on in Congress, around 24 Democrats are looking to push Trump out of office the old-fashioned way, at the ballot box. But for the former VP and current frontrunner, a series of stumbles over issues of race may threaten his status. It started a few weeks ago when Joe Biden touted his ability to reach across the aisle, specifically with a pair of segregationist senators, and things then came to a head when Kamala Harris called him out during that first Democratic debate.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
After first having doubled down on his statement, Biden then issued a rare apology over this past weekend.
Was I wrong a few weeks ago to somehow give the impression to people that I was praising those men who I successfully opposed time and again? Well, yes, I was. I regret it.
But will it stem the bleeding? Joining me to discuss are the hosts of the new WGBH podcast, All Rev'd Up. It starts Wednesday, July 10th. Reverend Irene Monroe and Emmett G. Price III. Good to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
Does the apology cut it for Biden?
No, it's more than a day late and a dollar short here. Largely because he needed to speak up before this moment. I mean, 10 days have passed. So if there's going to be a mea culpa, it has to come, not seen as being politically expedient.
So that means that once the artificial moment passed, by which he had not apologized, he can never, I don't know if it was sincere or not, he can never sincerely
I'm glad he did, but the point is the damage is done, and this is going to follow him, and he has a problem with not apologizing in a timely manner, because we're still waiting for that apology by Anita Hill.
For
Anita Hill. So I think if you're going to be on the mea culpa tour, it would have been good to say, look, while I'm at it, okay, okay, it's expansive, this is for Anita.
I'm going to put up a poll, Emmett, that was pretty stunning to me. This is done by Quinnipiac. This is African-American, likely Democratic primary voters. In June, prior to these debates, 48% preferred Biden, only 11% Senator Harris. After the debate, a virtual dead heat, 31% Biden, down 17 points, Harris up 16 points to 27%.
That's why he apologized. That poll is why he apologized. The American memory is short. I mean, people have moved on past that. I know people can pull back in the Anita Hill situation, but he's gotten elected numerous times since then. So that's not the issue. The issue is that he's losing traction in a race that he had only to lose.
But you don't think so? Neither of you think that what he had to say, and keep in mind he apologizes at virtually the same time that several polls come out that show that of the top 5 Democrats, none of them are beating Donald Trump anymore, except Joe Biden.
That's correct.
You don't think that'll rehab him, even if black voters hold it against him, what he originally did? You don't think the fact that at least as of today he's the only one who beats Trump will matter?
This is what he did, because he understands how to play politics.
He being Biden.
Biden, absolutely. Jim Clyburn is very important. South Carolina is the first primary.
Number 3 ranking member of the House of Representatives.
Top member, that's right. He's going to be at the fish fry. That's important here. I want to be.
That is important.
Okay,
here.
that really is, because it's where I want to be there for a whole lot of reasons here. He understands that if he gets a nod and he gets a welcome actually from Clyburn, he will definitely get South Carolina voters. But the issue is that we will see a generational divide. Anybody under 40 is not likely to go with Biden.
Well, by the way, it's true. It's not just Clyburn. Much of the black political infrastructure, particularly those who are veterans. I don't mean veterans of battle. I mean veterans of politics have been there. So do you buy this generational divide notion?
It's absolutely true. I mean, Biden has hired senior advisors who are younger, who are millennials. Simone Sanders is one who used to be with the Sanders campaign in 2016, is one of his senior advisors. I'm thinking that she got in his ear and said, hey, we cannot lose ground here. You need to apologize, so that becomes a new soundbite in our repertoire of soundbites to be able to reference later.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the wonderful thing is getting an early nod, and also an early nod in a pass with Clyburn. Clyburn is a fundamentalist minister So we know
didn't know that.
Yeah. So we know what politicians do. They always come the Sunday before the Tuesday to get black votes.
Well, you two would know, wouldn't you?
Oh, very much so.
Can we change gears? You told
Yeah.
us, Marjorie Egan and me on the radio, and you join us every week on the radio, which we're very happy about. You told us today your first podcast on Wednesday is going to be about Ava DuVernay's incredible piece on the Central Park 5. I watched When They See Us, which is her piece, and something I had not seen at the time. I think it was made in 2012 by Ken Burns and his daughter Sarah, a documentary about the Central Park 5. Shortly after this DuVernay thing aired, April Ryan asked Donald Trump if he wanted to apologize. And for those who don't know at home, Citizen Trump took out a full-page ad, said the death penalty should be put back in place. Originally, and then, even after they were exonerated, the Central Park 5, and someone else's DNA matched and was convicted, he didn't apologize. Well, Ryan asked if he wanted to apologize now, and here's what the president had to say.
You have people on both sides of that. They admitted their guilt. If you look at Linda Fairstein and if you look at some of the prosecutors, they think that the city should never have settled that case. So we'll leave it at that.
Linda Fairstein being the lead prosecutor at the time. What's your takeaway in this podcast? What are you doing with this?
Well, we're going to talk about the humanization of not only the exonerated 5, also known as the Central Park 5, but their families and their churches and the communities from which they come from, who are all impacted by this situation. And the thing about President 45 is that he talks about both sides once again.
We've heard that.
We've heard
A la
that in Charlottesville.
of course.
Deja vu with that.
So,
Absolutely.
what was your takeaway from DuVernay's piece?
Well, you know, as I told you, it's very personal, okay, because I was pastoring a church in the Bronx at the time when one of the accusers, grandmother attended church, as well as being a Wellesley graduate.
Church with you?
Yeah, my church that I was pastoring.
In
And
Brooklyn?
No, this was in the Bronx.
Oh, in the Bronx.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
from Brooklyn, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
And also being a Wellesley graduate. So there were a lot of balls playing for me in terms of how do you, minister to both, but in specific ways that speaks to the tragedy that had befallen.
I know this case a really stupid question. I asked the same question of the two Congress people here. If the people coming across the border were Norwegians or whites of any, would it happen? And they both said they thought no. Here, it's so obvious, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, when in the scene where Fairstein is reported to have referred to them who are suspects in basic minor mischief in the park as, quote, animals.
That's right.
It was about the color of their skin.
And there was a couple of, sort of I call historical antecedents that happened. Because if you remember, I don't know if you were in New York City at the time, but we had someone called the subway vigilante, and his name
Bernard Goetz.
Bernard Goetz, right, and 4 boys. So again, they were called predators. I mean, it was building up that by the time 1989 come, here's these boys that enter, and then they are held, accountable for a crime they didn't do.
We only have 30 seconds left. People who are meeting you for the first time here, who haven't heard you on a radio show, are going to think, well, they're pretty similar. It'll be interesting, but we know you're not to be. No. Give us 30 seconds on. You come at this everything from very different places.
Different perspectives, different even black faith perspectives.
Different coast, different generation.
Southern California.
That's right.
Brooklyn, New York.
That's right.
Different generations.
Motown, hip hop. Okay, I just got one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm always right. He's always wrong.
Exactly.
Okay. Can't say anymore.
I'm usually with him, but that's okay. It's great to see.
Thanks
Good
so much
luck
for
with this.
having us.
We're really excited.
Thank you so much.
And you should be too. You should catch the premiere of All Rev'd Up this Wednesday at allrevdup.org and wherever you get your podcasts.